Hi, I'm Sierra. I was raised in a household with four sisters and two very loving parents. Even though my parents couldn't give us a lot, they instilled good values and told us all about the world, the good and the bad. All of us were taught the rules of what it means to be a girl in this society and how cruel it can be sometimes. Mom and Dad said the buddy system is key wherever you go, day or night. Always get your own drinks at a party and keep them covered. Never talk to strangers. Drugs and alcohol are never the answer. Guns are only used for protection. As long as you get good grades, don't become pregnant or a stripper before you graduate high school, you are seen as a successful kid in their eyes. And lastly, never give homeless people money. They'll use it for the wrong reasons and they're lazy and are homeless because they don't want to get a real job. One day I was driving home with my dad and we were at a stoplight. An old man was standing at the corner of the street with a sign that said homeless and hungry. Anything helps, God bless. My dad didn't even look at him. But as I watched him walk towards a parking lot nearby, he threw his cane and his winter jacket in the back of a nice, expensive truck and hopped into the front seat. His limp suddenly was gone, and he zoomed away, even with a personalized license plate. I was so surprised and upset at how the man fooled people for their money, and my dad said, "See, I told you." My second job used to be at a bar downtown. I would get off in the early hours of the morning the next day, so my security guard would walk me to my car for safety. One night, as we walked down the street, we saw a homeless woman curled up on the sidewalk. I asked if we could cross the street so we didn't have to walk past her. The security guard laughed and said, "What are you scared of a little old woman for? What's the worst she could do? Here, watch." He bent down and offered her his leftovers. She looked at him, spit right in his face, and said, "Get away from me before I start screaming." As we walked away, he was surprised and upset, and I said, "See, I told you." Looking at my work and school schedule, We Care was the only service learning that I could fit in. When I told my parents what it entailed and how it was for a class, the first thing my dad said was, "You better not be going alone, especially to a place like that." And my mom said, "Remember not to wear your makeup and change out of your work clothes when you go." With my past experiences and my parents telling me these things, I was the least bit excited to go to We Care. But just like the majority of us who stigmatized homeless people, after my first night of going, my whole outlook on what and who homeless people were about was wrong. The first time I served cookies, I was asked to pass out the rest of them after the line went down. I was surprised by how majority of the people didn't want a second serving, and how instead of just taking a cookie, they would tell me how thankful they were to have me there to help. No one spit in my face, no one tried to scam me for more cookies, and it actually took me a minute to get rid of them since no one wanted any more. They would say things like, "Oh no, thank you, I got my share," or "Oh no, thanks, but maybe they would want some," and they pointed to the kids. I was raised in a good family who have good intentions. Maybe they are old school and traditional in some people's eyes, but I don't blame them for stigmatizing because they come from a different time. My dad always says how smart my generation is and how we are changing the world. Classes like this, educating people and having contact with stigmatized groups reduces stigma. It won't happen overnight and might not seem much now, but it's a start.